Hello, welcome back. In the world of Christian broadcasting, Daystar has long been one of the most recognized names, known for its religious programming, charitable endeavors, and larger-than-life personalities. The network has garnered a dedicated following. However, behind the scenes, whispers of tension, power struggles, and uncomfortable truths have occasionally surfaced. One such former employee, who has chosen to remain anonymous for fear of backlash, has come forward with explosive claims about the inner workings of the Daystar network. This individual worked closely with Joni Lamb, co-founder of the network and wife of founder Marcus Lamb, and is now ready to reveal their experiences in a tell-all-exposed.in a candid conversation with us. The former employee has detailed their reasons for leaving the network and shared their concerns about the leadership and practices within Daystar. Their story sheds light on what life was really like behind the scenes at one of Christian television's most influential platforms and the personal and professional toll it took on those involved. But what led to this drastic decision to leave the organization? And why now? Let's dive deeper into the shocking truths that have been kept hidden for so long. The former employee reflects on how they were initially drawn to Daystar, a beacon of Christian television that prided itself on spreading faith-based content across the globe. Like many newcomers, they were captivated by the network's mission to spread the message of hope and love. For this employee, Daystar seemed like an ideal place to make a positive impact, surrounded by people with shared values. However, this initial optimism would eventually give way to a harsh reality. The glamorous image of Daystar as a worldwide ministry was, according to the former employee, not reflective of the day-to-day operations. They speak of a sharp contrast between the public-facing narrative and what happened behind closed doors. This section will explore the initial excitement of joining Daystar and the growing realization that things weren't quite as they seemed. Joni Lamb is a household name for many Christians, admired for her warmth and leadership on Daystar. Yet the former employee's perspective paints a far different picture of the co-founder of the network. According to the former employee, Joni's on-screen persona was meticulously crafted, but the reality of her leadership style and personal interactions left much to be desired. In this section, we will examine what the former employee claims to have witnessed, from power dynamics within Daystar to how Joni Lamb allegedly conducted herself off-camera. The former employee describes a tense environment, rife with power struggles and a hierarchy that made it difficult for anyone to thrive unless they aligned perfectly with Joni Lamb's vision. This section will also delve into claims of favoritism, manipulation, and a growing culture of fear that permeated the organization. As the former employee worked at Daystar, they began to see patterns that made them uncomfortable. Discrepancies between the network's charitable claims and its internal workings, the questionable ethics of leadership, and personal conflicts led to mounting disillusionment. The employee recounts the key moments that made them realize they could no longer remain at Daystar. These pivotal events, including confrontations with leadership, decisions that seemed to prioritize money over ministry, and the growing toxicity of the workplace, ultimately set the stage for their departure. A personal turning point for the former employee was a particular incident to be described in detail that served as the final straw. This section will illustrate the moment of truth when they realized they had to leave for their own mental and emotional well-being. Leaving Daystar wasn't an easy decision. The former employee recounts their inner conflict and the fear of the consequences of speaking out. Many employees are bound by non-disclosure agreements, and the pressure to maintain a positive image for the network can be overwhelming. However, the former employee ultimately felt that the truth needed to come to light, regardless of the cost. In this section, we'll explore the fallout from their departure, including how the network responded to their decision and what they faced after leaving. This will also include the emotional and professional toll it took on them to step away from a network they had once admired. Here, the former employee will share the most startling revelations. These include allegations of financial mismanagement, manipulative behavior, and the unhealthy atmosphere that permeated the workplace. This section is where the employee's perspective will be put front and center, with evidence of their claims, including documents, personal accounts, and emails that they allege back up their version of events. The claims range from questionable fundraising practices to concerns about Daystar's internal structure and leadership. One of the most shocking aspects of the expose is the claim of manipulation by the network's top leaders. The former employee shares specific examples of how decisions were made, with a particular focus on how Joni Lamb is alleged to have exerted control over both employees and followers of the network. The former employee's decision to come forward wasn't just about airing grievances, but rather about seeking accountability for the network's actions. They express hope that their story will bring about positive change, not only within Daystar, but in the broader Christian broadcasting community. This section explores the larger issues at play, including the ethics of Christian ministries and the responsibility of leadership to maintain transparency and integrity. In the final section, the former employee shares their reflections on faith, personal growth, and what they have learned through their experience. They discuss their journey after leaving Daystar, the importance of healing, and how they have come to terms with their past. While critical of the practices they witnessed, the former employee also expresses a desire for forgiveness and reconciliation, believing that true healing comes from understanding and confronting the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. In conclusion, the former Daystar employee's testimony sheds light on the complex and often difficult realities of working within the world of Christian media. It calls for greater transparency, accountability, and ethical practices in ministries that claim to serve the greater good. The story also raises important questions about the intersection of faith, business, and power in modern Christian broadcasting. The revelations shared here are just the beginning of a much-needed conversation about what happens behind the scenes in ministry-focused organizations and the importance of upholding Christian values in every aspect of life, especially leadership.